What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here finally celebrating a victory after Liverpool's 3-1 defeat over Tottenham at Tottenham Stadium. I am your host, Steven, as always, joined by my main man, my homie. Andrew's off today. And for a victory, we had to bring back the one and only Sophie, who she was on for the post-match last time for Tottenham, and here she is again. Sophie, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Glad to be back again.
Yes, good to have you back. And honestly, like I just told you guys, I have no idea what to do with my hands right now because we finally won.
I keep doing this.
I get all this warm feeling right now, and I have no idea what to do with it. Am I supposed to be bouncing off the wall? Should I go to the gym really quick? Like, I don't know. I am buzzing. I'm so happy for that win. That was massive for us, and especially with the results yesterday, we are in super, super good shape. So I want to kick it off and just go right into our opening statements here because I have something I want to say, and it's crazy what happens when all of a sudden we play Thiago more forwards. Holy shit. I mean, completely different game today. I thought we were much improved. Obviously, Sadio Mane was a little bit slow to start, but you could just see the difference with having a creative guy like Thiago more forwards. He created so many chances. The Firmino handball that ended up coming back, that Mane goal, that was a great pass by Thiago, and he was instrumental today. I thought he did an outstanding job. Obviously, a little scary when he had that head injury, but for me, this was the best Thiago. See him in that attacking role, and I hope we get to see it a lot more going forwards.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, Thiago was absolutely outstanding in this game, but for me, the biggest difference was Trent. Like, the calm that came over him by just having one centre-back. Like, Matip is his usual partner. Matip always plays on that side, and even though he was only on for the first half, it gave Trent that confidence back. And I think that made a massive difference in regards to the rest of the team, because I said it when you were with James Pearce the other day, that our problems fall like dominoes. It comes from the defence right to the front three. And because the defence clicked with Trent could push forward, Thiago could push forward, Bobby fell back when he did and he scored. It was beautiful link-up play for me today. It was like fluid Liverpool, the way that we're accustomed to now. But I don't know what to do with myself. I'm kind of like on cloud nine still. I feel like I've just won a cup or something.
Exactly. That's how I feel. What do you think?
I think today was a victory for football. Like, we beat anti-football. And I just love Mourinho's face. Like, he looks so gutted on the touchline, and like all the stuff he was saying before the game, like he wouldn't get away with Klopp antics at the touchline. All that's nonsense. It's like, says the man who gouged a guy's eye out when we did. So
this is the man who took his anger out on water bottles.
Yeah. So I think like today was like a much needed win and a much better performance. And obviously the only downside is a centre back issue, but you can't ask for more today. You know, we were the better team from the whole game. You know, it's just so good. I'm happy, so happy.
So good. All right, let's do it. Let's get to our talking points here. I mean, where I want to start it off though is our boy J Doc. J Doc, I completely agree. I also was yelling, screaming down my hallway when Firmino finally scored. My roommate is a very loose, Premier League fan. He kind of likes Tottenham a little bit, but he doesn't really watch that much. And he just got home. He's exhausted. He's in bed. When Firmino scored, I just shot out, he ran out. I felt so bad. Woke him up, but you know what? That's what happens when you're a Liverpool fan. You get jacked up. It was awesome. It was great. But where I want to start was the starting lineup, because obviously I think I can speak for everyone. I was shaking in my boots when I saw no Fabinho and he came down with an injury. Sophie, what was your thought with the starting lineup, especially, his replacement, from Henderson going back there, and also Milner getting the start today?
Honestly, I said it to a homie earlier on Twitter. He was like, how are we all feeling today, Red? I was like, if I don't think about it, if I don't look at it, if I don't acknowledge it, it's not going to happen. Like, it's fine. Like, I was absolutely shitting myself. Like, I can't remember the last time I felt that nervous for a game. And when the lineup came out, it didn't do anything to help me nerves. I was like, first thing, clocked on, no Fabinho. I was like, we get Matip, we lose Fabinho. It's like, Hendo's in there again. We're going to lose that possession in the midfield. The link-up's not going to be there. Milner's brilliant. He's a workhorse, and I'll always praise Milner for what he does. But I was just thinking, oh, you've got to go up against, and Ndombele, you've got, Aurier, you've got all these really quick, pacey players, and then Milner, who's just going to take them down. And I was thinking, oh, God, he's going to get a yellow, he's going to take someone out, he's going to get kicked off, we're going to go down to 10 men. And I was just thinking the worst. And I genuinely didn't think our boys would play as well as they did. I'm happy to be wrong. Like, I'm really happy to be wrong. Doesn't happen often, but I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think for me, like, I have to agree with Sophie. I was a bit worried. I was thinking, like, I thought that we're going to miss Hendo's protection of Trent against Song, and I thought they're going to get a lot of joy on that side with Hendo being centre back. But to be fair, like, I thought Hendo and Matip played really well in that first half. I don't think Henderson put a foot wrong the whole game. Really, I know they had those 2 chances where Son got through the offside and the other one when he shot and Alisson saved it. But I think that's more to do with we were still getting used to getting organised and getting ourselves comfortable. And Salah at that time wasn't as tracking back as much as he did later on as the game wore on. But yeah, I think like we did really, really well. And now I think we can say that we beat Spurs.
Where's Charles?
Phillips is back.
Where's Charles in the chat today, guys?
Yeah.
He's very quiet, isn't he?
Charles, where are you, buddy?
What happened to this quadruple? Where is it?
And he said that Spurs are going to spank us.
Yeah, he did.
He's triggered so many people. We got Magical Mo. We got Chris Welch. We got everybody. I love it. Yeah, he's not going to show up today, guys.
Crawl back into the little hole he came from.
There's no way he's going to show up today. But honestly, yeah, it's good to hear that Fabinho's injury is not too bad. Sounds like it was more precautionary, which is absolutely massive. But I think I had the same reaction everyone else did. I was like, why the hell is Milner getting a start today? I thought for sure if somebody had to go in there, I thought it was going to be Jones for sure. He's been rested, and I thought he was going to be ready to go. But looking back on it, I kind of understand why Klopp went in that direction. The one thing that Milner is good at, he has an engine for the 60 minutes that he can give us, and that's and then he gets a little tired. But his physicality, and I think we needed a physical presence in the midfield with them having Højbjerg and then Ndombele in the midfield. I think we just needed somebody who wasn't afraid to bang him a little bit. And people get frustrated with Milner sometimes in his tackling, but especially as a defender, the first 5 minutes, I always tried to go out and have a pretty solid hit on somebody just to set the tone. And I think that he did that. In the first minute, I think it was the 58-second mark, he already drew a foul. But I think sometimes you need that. And I think that was the fact that Thiago played more forwards. I think even Magic Mo had a point here. Finally, Thiago in the 8, cannot agree more. You saw today the best versions of that. And it's something that we've talked about on this podcast a lot. So what were your guys' thoughts on Thiago playing with a more advanced role? Do you think we're going to see that a lot more going forwards?
I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Like, he was everywhere today. Like, everywhere you looked, he was there, making recoveries, tackles, challenges, Yeah, he was going to ground a little bit easy, and he was playing very German football. And that's not going to fly with the refs in the Premier League for very long. He's going to get booked a lot. But he just changed the dynamic of the team completely. He hounded them. He suffocated them everywhere they went. He was there, and he was tracking back, then he was going forward. And I just think he played a brilliant game. Especially getting the head injury, like you mentioned earlier, like that could have easily completely knocked him and derailed him. But he acted like nothing had happened, and I just thought he was fantastic from like start to finish. To be honest, I can't fault him.
I think one thing about Thiago is he gets a yellow card. Most players would be frightened about the game for the rest of the game, like getting sent off. But it doesn't bother him. He still chucks himself in there for tackles, headers, and he's got that temperament that he doesn't get sent off. I think the one thing with Thiago is, as good as he played today, he's still nowhere near his level, and that's the good thing about him. He's still nowhere near how he was playing at Bayern for us. And I think the one thing I'd like him to do is just work on his shooting a bit more. Because I think he's got the technique to score good goals. There was that chance where he had that where he came to the edge of the box and he shot really wide, and I thought he has a technique to do better there. So I think when he gets that first goal, I think it will be like a massive weight off his shoulder because you can see he's desperate for that first goal. But yeah, he was really, really good today. Like, and I think people underestimate the amount of defensive work he does in tracking back, in winning balls in the air that he shouldn't be winning, but he'll jump up and he's got a good like anticipation and leap. Yeah. And also the way he uses the ball, like his passing the ball is just finding pockets of holes when he's being pressed that no one else can see is what makes him so good. The amount of times where he's been closed down and he just will pick a ball into someone and just break the whole like defensive line that people are pressing us against. So yeah, he's phenomenal. When he gets really going, we've got a big player.
Well, it was one of the commentators, sorry, just because it was one of the commentators, didn't it? He says, you know, Thiago's played a brilliant game today, but he's nowhere near what he's going to be when our squad's fully fit. Like, when our boys come back fully fit and fighting, that's when we're going to see the best of Thiago. Like, I know our first game with him was the derby where he got injured, but before he got injured, you saw a glimmer of what this team, you know, what the potential of this squad is. And I just think it's going to be magical when he hits his stride, gets used to the Premier League, gets used to his teammates, and the boys come back. And I just think, well, and behold, anybody who said shit about us because they're going to get battered.
Oh, I completely agree. And that was going to be my point. Is I don't think we're going to see like the true Thiago that we're going to end up getting used to until we see both Henderson and Fabinho behind him, because right now he still has so much defensive responsibility, and he's still going to be a solid defensive player playing in a more of an advanced role in the midfield, more of like a 10 position. But until he has that comfort of Henderson and Fabinho behind him, I think he still is going to have to sit a little bit deeper than we want him to. And be more of an 8 instead of more of like a 10 role. So that's something I'm keeping an eye out for. But like you said, homie, he has this weird knack about being able to time his jumps perfectly. Like these balls that he has no business in winning, somehow he's winning. And it's just like he has this silent confidence about him, which I absolutely love in the midfield. It's been awesome. But J Doc makes a really good point here I wanted to kind of talk about, because even though Salah's goal didn't count, I think it just boosts the team's mentality. The front three are scoring and hitting the target. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that, because I completely agree. I mean, I know Salah didn't, his goal didn't count, but this was the best performance from Bobby in a long time. I mean, this is what I know. Mane missed a couple chances, but he was so effective. He was flying down the wing. And I just think that just seeing the ball go in the net a few times, even if a few didn't count, I think that's going to be massive for this tough stretch of games that we have coming up.
Yeah. And did you notice that like Salah was really trying hard not to just rely on his left, because he knows, a back five of Tottenham, you can't, if he tries to cut in on the left from the right wing, they're going to be on him. Then he's not going to get through it. So it was nice to see him for once trying to use that right foot, even if it doesn't pan out like it didn't on one of his shots. It didn't pan out, but it's more the ability to do it, to try and test other teams, so they don't become like very complacent, like, oh, Salah's going to cut in on the left and shoot. It keeps things a little bit, I can't think of the word, like, oh my God, why is it gone? It just keeps things a little bit more lively, doesn't it? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where he's going to come from. And I think that makes him much more volatile striker, winger. Because you've seen Mane. Mane comes in from the left, he comes in on his right, he doesn't care what foot, like, he'll do it with his head. I'm pretty sure if you let him, he'd like throw it in the net, in the back of the goal. But I think with Salah, you need to see him using that right foot more. And it was nice to see him using it today in like such an important game as well. He took those risks. Mm-hmm. And I think it shows the mentality of the boys is just creeping back in again.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was good to see. I think what we saw today in the front three, like Klopp said, that we want to be the most difficult team to beat. And I think we saw that in terms of the hunger of the front three. They looked hungry. There's a part, I think there's a bit where I think Salah got the ball in the second half on a break, and he tried to shoot with his right foot and it got cleared out for a corner. But you saw like Salah and Bobby and Mane both bombing in the box, trying to get on in case like something like there's a chance to feed off. And I think we weren't seeing that in the last couple of games. We weren't seeing like movement in terms of the front three and that hunger of them linking up. And I think we saw more of that today. I think that's positive because it shows that the confidence is flowing back. And yeah, like I said, Mane missed chances, but he kept trying, and then he got his just reward. He got the goal and assist. So and Bobby was just outstanding today. Like he was the Bobby,
It was
the
fantastic.
link up plays, the dropping deep, the finding space. It was just, just he was the Bobby we know and love.
Vintage Bobby.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'd say with Salah was I think there was odd time when decision making could be a bit better, and I think
There
that's
are
the only.
always going to be moments, aren't they? Like you can't have a perfect, flawless game. There
True.
are going to be spare with a moment. You're going to whack the ball, put your laces through it.
True, but I think there was a time where he should have passed to Thiago, laid off to Thiago, who could have scored, and then he should have done a better pass to Jones. Instead of doing that but that's only otherwise he was just
You've always got to find something, haven't you?
Yeah. That's what I feel like. I'm like, where's nitpicking at this point? We're gonna find something to criticize.
We've got to find something. We can't be Liverpool fans not being bitter about something, can we?
Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I know the perfect thing that we can be bitter about, and that's Joel Matip going out with an injury at halftime. I mean, seriously, like this guy, like I honestly am starting to think that he actually is a baby giraffe because like he is not coordinated and he could just not stay on the field. I don't even understand that. I didn't even see the play. Like I don't know where he got hurt. Like do we even have any word yet on what the injury is?
Yeah.
But
David O'Cop has just said Klopp said it looks like a serious injury. I just don't know where we go with Matip from here. Like I've always defended Matip, and you guys know I love Matip. He's like my baby. I do adore him. And I think when he was on the pitch today, those first 45 minutes, he was amazing. What was his passing accuracy? It was like 86%, 85% passing accuracy. He did really well to keep Son absolutely quiet. Like he pocketed in that first half. I mean, I know Son got through like a few times, but he did a really good job. But he's just come back from injury, played the game, got rested as a precaution, and now he's got a serious injury. And at this point, I'm just thinking he's not reliable. As much as I like him as a player, and as much as I see the ability and and the potential in him, he's not the youngest of players anymore. He's been with us a fair few years, and how long can you carry on before you've got to cut your ties and just say he's not good enough anymore?
Yeah,
that kind of hurts saying that about Matip, but I just don't think he is good enough anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's not good enough. I mean, talent wise, I think he's a world class player when he's available. But it's like I tweeted out the moment Agasali got injured. Availability is the best ability, and if you can't be available, then you're doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, it's the same thing with Naby Keita. It's the same exact thing with Naby Keita. It's like, hey, you guys have all the talent in the world, but if you're never available to us, then why the hell are we paying you? It's just one of those things.
Exactly.
And so
yeah, it is really frustrating. And I thought as soon as he went off, I thought, God, like, it's a matter of over. Like I said, it's just like you see Jekyll and Hyde. You see like one half like he's dominating Son and Kane and just shielding the ball, playing really well. Then he can't. So if he's out seriously injured, we're in big trouble because
we're in serious trouble.
Yeah,
we don't want to be playing Henderson at centre back versus City. We need him midfield. And although Phillips played well today, when Kane went off, it made it easier for us to defend against because Spurs became toothless like Kane. So it made it easier for Phillips. I wouldn't go ahead.
He did quite well.
He did quite well, but
he did well.
I think he'll struggle against the movement of City if we played like. I think he'll struggle against them.
But don't you think anybody would struggle against City? The majority of defenders. But shut up. Put it into perspective. Like how many defenders struggle against City? They are a world-class squad. I mean, for God's sake, they've got half the world's money tied up in this squad. I'm pretty sure there's like an underground vault with the money in it. But most players would struggle against City's attack, and I think we're just spoilt with having Virgil and relying on him. And now anyone isn't going to stand up to the plate. But especially if Matip's out now, if you've got Hendo and Nat Phillips or Hendo, and say Matip is back by then or Fab's back, nothing's going to cut it. Nothing's going to feel strong enough for City's attack. And on that game day, I'm going to go and bury my head under a rock somewhere and not come out until we scored a goal or 7. But I just don't think any defense that we've got at the minute, any solution, any partnership would make me feel comfortable.
I mean, I agree. We definitely had spoiled, and I mean, even when Van Dijk first went down, there was uncertainty with the back line. Even when we had Matip and Gomez starting together, because it was always like, wow, those guys have never played together. Like, what's going to happen? I don't know. So there was always that question marks, right? I guess now my biggest question is, with Matip looking like a serious injury, does this now push the hand of FSG and Klopp to get a center back in these next 3 days? Because we had James Pearce on, and it seemed like they didn't really have anyone with their eye on there. But I was also thinking that we'd have Matip somewhat available, and again, he's down now. If it's a more serious injury where it's not like, okay, in a week's time he can play one game and then play again one game in a week or whatever. Sounds like now it's going to be at least a month, maybe 2 that he's gone. So
I don't see it, mate. In 2 days' time, I don't see it. The window shuts in 2 days.
In 2 days' time, is it going to be quality, or is it just going to be putting a plaster on a broken bone? Like, we're screwed in that sense. If it's a long-term injury with Matip, I'm really concerned for our back line, because we can't keep Hendo in there forever.
Well, there is a shout of bringing Marco Gruch back and doing a Chan and playing at centre back.
Oh no! I'd rather have Skirtle back. Look, it's bring Clavan back instead. I'd rather have anybody but him. I'll go centre back.
Give me Lord Clavan. Give me Lord Clavan. You kidding me? Like, that guy's a god. Let's bring him back.
Can we get Carragher? Get Carragher back.
Yeah.
Still got it.
The Dagger, Daniel Agger, he was my favorite. Let's get him back there. I'd love to see him back there cracking some heads.
Someone tweeted him and asked him if he still had his boots.
All right. We need him. We need something. It's gonna be really interesting to see like how Klopp's gonna go forward with it. I mean, do you guys think that he has trust in a guy like Nat Phillips to get some minutes now, or do you think we're gonna see Henderson consistently in that spot now?
I think it was Henderson.
Yeah, I don't.
Fortunately. I think he played well today.
I don't know why. Sorry, go on, carry on.
No, I think because Henderson played well again today, he'll go Hendo.
I don't understand what he's not seeing in Nat Phillips. Because whenever Nat Phillips is playing for us, no, he's not, earth-shattering. But he's a solid centre back, and I don't know why he doesn't have faith in him. Like, for me, today, I would have liked to have seen Nat Phillips on the starting lineup with Matip, and then Hendo in midfield, and then if things had changed, like Matip's injury, then push Hendo back in. But I just think you've got two centre-backs there. I mean, I know Reece Williams is very young and Nat Phillips is inexperienced in essence, but you've got two centre-backs there and you're still choosing to put your midfielders in, your aging midfielders. And it worries me. It still worries me.
I think it's also the fact that distribution with the ball, that Phillips isn't that great with the ball in terms of passing. And you saw that pass Hendo did in the first half where he was able to chip the ball in and Mane should have scored. Phillips can't do that. And I think that's why he plays Hendo there, because of the distribution with the ball. Allows us to still play out the field. I think that's one of the reasons why he doesn't play Phillips as much.
Well, Mystic has a good point here. Henderson was playing great. He's a team leader, and that's what we need at the back right now with all these injuries. And while I agree with that, because especially now we don't really have a lot of vocal leadership in the back, I also think, though, at times we miss Henderson's leadership in the midfield. Trent really relies on Henderson. Milner can fill some of that leadership. He is a little bit of a rah-rah guy. But I don't know. I just think I get that point. I get the leadership aspect. Like, do you guys think that plays a factor as well? Like, just the communication piece of having Henderson back there?
100%. Like, it doesn't matter where you put Hendo, does it? Like, we saw it when he had his knee injury at the end of last season and he was out. Our form completely dipped. He came back and, he's the soundboard. He is the captain. He is the leader of that team. And you heard him tonight screaming at Thiago and screaming at Mo to get into position. And he's not afraid to tell them off. And they need that. I think when they're not there, they falter. So I don't care where you put Hendo, whether you put him in centre-back or whether you put him in midfield, he's going to do the same job.
Yeah, I think it is a big thing. We rarely lose without Hendo, and he is vital for us in terms of organisation, leadership, and we're not the same team without Hendo there. So if he has to play at centre back to get him in the pitch to cover up, we're gonna have to play him there. We've got no other choice. Like, I don't see anyone coming in now So we've got no choice but to play Hendo there, and just hope that Matip's injury isn't like 2 to 3 months, like it's a couple of weeks or something.
It will be. It's our luck and it's Matip's luck. Like, his injury record reads like an A to Z. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got everything. Ankle!
Yeah,
For God's sake!
that's the rumor. That's the rumor right now. I did see this. Yep. Yeah, and Dave OC Cop. Yeah, he's coming back on soon actually on our pod. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty serious. Klopp on Matip. This is from James Pierce. Joel had a problem with his ankle. There was no chance for him to play on. Looks like it's a pretty serious injury. So I don't even remember the play when we like I don't remember even seeing him go down at any point or even limping. So I'm not.
No, they didn't, because even the commentators, they said, like, when they came on, they were like, "Oh, Matip's coming off." Like, he played the 45 minutes solidly, so it must have been something he's felt, carried on with, and has gone down to the dressing room. And
or he did it through the tunnel on the way.
You know what? He's probably tripped over his own fucking foot, hasn't he, the twat?
Probably. But
oh,
J-Doc has this had this point about the game. I actually noticed this too a little bit, is that we're playing a lot more down the middle of balls being played, behind the defenders and over the top. And look what happens. We scored. And I think Klopp's finally starting to get the message a little bit with trying to change tactics, because this game, especially while Robertson and Trent put in good performances, I just don't remember a game where they didn't whip in as many crosses as they didn't whip in that many today. And like when they did get forward, it was always when we already had the ball in their box, and then they got forward for like a late overlap. So did you guys pick up on that? And do you think that was a tactical change, or was that just kind of how the game played out?
Well, actually, I was going to mention this. I wrote it down earlier. Did you notice that Salah and Bobby swapped positions in the second half?
I did.
And that's when a lot of the balls went down the centre line again. And I think it made a massive difference. Like, Bobby was so much more free to come in off the wing, and I do think it makes a massive difference. And it's nice not seeing us just spam crosses in and hope for the best. Like, I am sick to death of seeing Robbo boot one over to Trent and Trent boot one back over to Robbo. You're not playing a game of keep you uppies, lads. You're playing Premier League football. Get it in the fucking net. Like, get it in the goal. But it was nice to see a different tactic for a change. I feel like our football, I hate to say it, but it's become a bit stagnant. It's become a little bit expected of us to do certain things now, and it's about time we changed it up. And it was nice, especially against Spurs, a team that literally are known for parking the bloody bus. He could have put that on cinder blocks tonight and just sat that back five there and been like, "No, done." 11 behind the ball at all times. Like, paying high-class Burnley.
I mean, I think that was the biggest surprise for me today, was the fact that how many chances that we had against this back line, because the last month, we were having a bunch of shots, but I wouldn't say they were really quality. We had trouble breaking down the low blocks, and today it was like we had no fucking problem. We literally just went right through them like it was not an issue at all, and that's Mourinho's MO. I will say, though, I think another thing that played a huge factor was Bobby getting a little bit of a rest last game. He's one of the most most capped players on the Klopp.
You've got Klopp over the same. There we go.
He's one of the most capped players, and I just think that today really showed how he really needs a solid deputy behind him so he can get rotation, because says all the time he is the system and all this stuff, but when he gets a little bit of rest, just like when he got a little bit of rest a month ago, he came back, got a couple goals, a couple assists, was creating a lot of chances. So I think that was the biggest thing there. But kind of going back to the point, like, Mahomie, what did you think about like any tactical changes that we saw today?
Yeah, I said before, like, we need to start playing through the middle more. And that's the solution going forward, and start using Thiago more on the ball. I think, like, previously, I think that before, with Thiago, we were trying to get the ball in the flanks and cross it in the box. But this time, we're actually playing the ball for the middle and getting it through the front three and linking up. And that's why we were causing Spurs problems with Firmino dropping deep and linking up play, rather than just trying to spam crosses in. So I think that is the way forward. I think it's a blueprint. If we're going to play low blocks, we can play through the middle more.
Yeah. Anytime we play a low block or we play five in the back, go through the middle. And then that's going to open it up for those other games. Like J-Doc says, like, we want to be able to be unpredictable. And we're starting to see this now a little bit. Now that we can start breaking down these low blocks, we can make teams get out of that and open it up again for Trent and Robbo. Then it's which way do you want us to beat us or beat you?
Yeah. And I think the key thing as well was we were a bit more clinical today. That's the key thing as well, and that disrupted Spurs. In the past, we weren't clinical, and that allowed teams to we missed simple chances and allowed teams to like set and then get comfortable and know that Liverpool are going to give you a chance. But we were clinical today. Even when we had the Salah goal just allowed, we still were going for, we still created chances, and we still got another goal. So we were more likely to score than Spurs were, and that's a big difference.
Yeah, and I did notice there was a lot of frustration at the beginning of the game when we were getting chances through Mane, and he wasn't finishing it. But I mean, this has kind of been consistent throughout the entire season with Mane. It always seems like his last touch fails him at times. But I think his goal might end up being absolutely massive for his confidence, because the moment that he was creating chances left and right, but then the moment he scored, it just seemed like something went off in his head. Like, okay, I'm back. I got this. Did you guys pick up on that too?
Yeah, I think like a whole light went off with the entire team, to be honest. I think after Trent's goal, I reckon when Trent got that goal, it was like a light switch went off on everyone, and I think it like ignited the fire in the front three even more. But I've said it before, like Mane is like Bambi on ice with his feet. Like, you don't think he's got control; he'll just flail out anywhere, and then he'll whack one in somewhere. It would be an outstanding goal. And yet, I'd like to see him, more clinical. But then also, you could equally say you'd like to see every one of the players more clinical. There's always going to be a time where they're going to be offbeat. It is a fast-paced decision making. You literally stood there. You've got 5 defenders at Tottenham running at you. You've got Lloris, covering his post. You've got about 3 seconds to make your decision. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. But I just think the quality of Mane, it did step up after his goal today. Like you said, Steve, it was like he just kind of went, oh yeah, that's what I do. That's my goal. That's my job. Oh yeah.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I can still do this. I still got it. Okay.
The ball goes in the net. Oh. Oh no.
Yeah, it was good to see him get a goal. He needed that, because otherwise it was looking like a frustrating night for him again. But hopefully these goals now will just light the front three, and they'll start banging in goals. And then when Jota comes back, the party starts.
That's when we start dancing. That's when we start dancing, and
that's when I start drinking.
Yeah.
That's when I start drinking. That's when I start mocking all the United fans in work.
Oh yeah. All right, I've kept bookmarks. I have a lot of things bookmarked right now, so we'll be coming back to those hopefully by the end of the year. For sure. But we did talk about in the pre-match 2 things that the 2 biggest matchups that we really thought was Mane. I mean, we talked a lot about Mane today, but then we also talked about Trent. And Mahomie, I think your point was about Trent and how we needed him to have a good game today. This was his first good performance in a long time, I thought. What did you think about how he played? And do you think this will give him the confidence to keep it going?
Yeah, I think Trent was outstanding today. This is Trent getting back to his old best. He wasn't spamming crosses in, and when he did cross, there were pinpoint crosses. The decision making was much better. I think obviously in the past we've just seen Trent just pick the ball up and just say, I'm just going to just do a long range pass and just spam it in there. And I think the decision making was much more better today. And I think the one thing with Trent, as a local boy, it's hurt him more how Liverpool played. So he's going to feel it more. So I think today, he was really, really good today. Defending wise, he was good. And I think that's one thing as well I like about Trent is the fact that his one-on-ones have improved a lot this year. A lot. He doesn't get beaten. I think he was in the top. I saw in the top 5 for least dribble pass in the Premiership. So I thought he was really good. His passes were outstanding. And the pass to Mane's goal, Trent, if he can just keep this on, then it's good, because we need the old Trent. I think the one thing that I loved about today was Salah and Trent were linking up well today. The movement was good. The link-up play hasn't been there before, and today it was there, and that's the key thing. That's what made us really good today.
Mm.
Did you notice Trent going through the midfield more today as well, or was that just me? He wasn't bombing it down that wing. He was cutting in through the midfield, I noticed, and then Thiago would push over and push forward and kind of take his role on the wing. They'd swap. And I thought that was a really good pivot. I don't know whether it was tactical or whether it was just by chance. But Trent would make a recovery, run into midfield, and then Thiago would move up and Salah would move into the middle. And I think it made really clever link-up play, and I think it confused a lot of the Spurs players as to where the fuck they were going.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point, because I think when they lined up with 3 center backs and having wing backs and then still having Bergwijn and Son stay wide, like where does Liverpool have numbers in that situation? In the direct center of the park. So, and I think they figured that out, and they're like, okay, instead of trying to force this stuff down the wing where we don't have numbers, let's go 4-on-2. Let's go 4 guys against their 2 center midfielders, and we're going to have space. And that's exactly what we saw. And again, it kind of goes back to this whole tactical change. Like when you see that, like stop doing the insanity thing and keep doing the thing that's not working. Change it up a little bit. And that's what we saw today. And that's why I thought we were so dangerous today.
I think that's what's frustrating me with Klopp the most, is the fact that he seemed very reluctant to change, our ways.
Oh, we give you Sophie? She might have just dropped out.
No,
there you are.
No, she should still be here. I was just saying that's what's frustrated me with Klopp recently. He's been very reluctant to change, our routine, our things, the way we play. He's been very much, okay, no, we're still going to pull our fullbacks out wide, make a narrow channel in the middle, crossing, because it's worked for us for the last 3 seasons. And I just think it's a tired play now. They expect that from us, and they're going to be sat on the sides. And you saw Mourinho do it today. Obviously, he put 2 left backs on. Was it 2 left backs or 2 right backs?
They played 2 right. They played 2 right backs today.
2 right backs, because it was last time he played 2 left backs, wasn't it? And he put them on because he needed numbers there, because he anticipated that we were going to bomb it down the wing, and he needed quick players to cover it. And we didn't do that, and I think it was a real shock for them.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And J-Doc, appreciate you being on top of James Pearce. It is confirmed ankle ligaments for him, so that is definitely not good. So Klopp's comments on that, on the center back situation, you can imagine that we think about everything. It's about doing the right thing. We need to find the right player. So, I mean, we James Pearce kind of mentioned it yesterday when we had him on, that they do have their number 1 targets kind of circled. He's not available in January. He's going to be available in the summer. So it's going to be interesting to see if now with this Matip injury, do you go with a short-term loan option? Do you do something like that? But it's tough though, because I don't want somebody like I know soccer. Don't
bring him near my team.
No. He already went.
Not having him.
Yeah, I don't want him, and I don't want the other guy like Mustafi. I don't want either one of them. I'd be much rather go with Phillips, but like I don't know, Subotic, he's available now. Maybe that's a quick answer. I don't know, but even just to have a guy who can play every other game, something like that. That just having the depth piece just in case might be necessary. It's going to be something interesting to keep an eye on. Yeah. I felt this to my bones, that how crucial this goal was right before halftime, because it would have been so consistent with everything that we've seen so far this season. It's like, wow, we have an awesome first half and then just completely flat in the second half, or vice versa.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Magical Mo's just made a comment there. You might want to pick up on that quickly.
I don't know how true that is. He's been saying about this for a while, Magical Mo. I don't know.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I'll believe that when I see it. I'm not going to get teary with that one.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Don't get me wrong.
I'd love it. I mean, I'll see it when James Pearce tweets it out, but I haven't seen that from anybody yet.
Where's the here we go? I want that.
I'll say to Chris Wells, he said Milito, Metal. James Pearce rubbished that last night, unfortunately. There's no link to us with him, unfortunately.
Squash that. Yeah. And as devastating it would be for teams, I don't want this either. As devastating, as awesome that back line would be, I don't want Ramos anywhere near this team at all. And I don't think, even if we had the opportunity, even if you were to call Klopp and be like, I'll play for $80K a week, I'm pretty sure the answer would be fuck off. So
I wouldn't trust him. You know what? Even if he signed the contract and he swore down in his life that he was going to give everything for Liverpool, I wouldn't trust him. I don't trust him as a player. I think he's very self-centered, very arrogant, he's an absolute gobshite.
Yeah.
And I'd rather us play no centre-backs. I'd rather us play Adrian in a centre-back position than Ramos. That's how much I don't like Ramos. I don't care how good you are. Don't care how talented or seasoned you are. I don't care how many trophies and medals you've got in your little house. I don't give a shit. Do not come near my club ever.
Yeah.
Can't. Sorry.
I would sign him just to keep him away from the team. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we'll pay you just for you to never to play football again. Go fuck yourself, pal. That's overall my thought on him.
So say we don't like Ramos.
Nah, just to say what it is. Oh God. But that being said, like I know we were all kind of surprised about Milner getting the start, but honestly, I thought he played pretty well today. I was surprised he lasted the full 90 minutes. I thought he was going to need a cane by the end of it, but yeah, he did a great job. I think he did add another element to us in the midfield, but hopefully we don't need to see him too much. He's good in spot starts, but I West Ham, I don't know if we'll see him against West Ham. That screams like Curtis Jones game to me on Sunday.
I don't want to give a shout out to Gini. I think he was outstanding tonight. Like, he's shielding the ball, his passing, his movement was outstanding tonight, Gini. Like,
I'm telling you, I
sorry,
love.
can you just repeat that? Did you just give Genie praise?
Did you just praise Gini praise?
Sorry, one more time, please. The people didn't hear it at the back. One more time.
So I wasn't giving Gini praise. He was outstanding tonight.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. You broke up. One more time.
Gini was outstanding tonight.
Thank you.
It was really good.
I love Thiago and Gini together. I think that's awesome. I think it's a really good combo. And it sounds like though it's just going to be until the end of this year. But I just think the energy that they both bring and their tackling ability and their ability just to like read passing lanes is incredible. And if we could start Henderson with them or Fabinho, it'd be incredible. I think that would be the best lineup that we could possibly put out there.
I'm gonna miss Genie. I really am.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it because it makes me sad.
What did you guys think of? And I know it came back for an offside, but what did you think of that goal by Tottenham? Like, I was kind of surprised that Alisson got beaten near post on that, saying like on the Son goal. Well, that got called back.
I think it was just so quick. I think because we literally just had a shot on target. Was it on target? Oh, we had a chance. And it had literally come from Lloris's, goal kick out straight into Son's path. It cut right through our defence like they weren't even there. And I think it was more of a shock of, oh my God, we're 120 seconds in the game. And you've just had a shot and it went in. And I think Alisson wasn't prepared for it to be that quick. I think because we see Spurs as a team that kind of sit back for like normally the first 15, 20 minutes. And then they start the counter press, and I don't think we expected that. But it was offside.
Yeah, it was offside.
Don't give a shit. It was offside.
Yeah, I was late to that game. I was like 2 minutes late, and I was thinking, God, when I saw Song scored already, I was like, goodness sake, we're in for a long night. And I thought disallowed, and I was like, yes.
Dude, it was absurd. It was just, and like, of course, like right after it gets called too, it's like, I think it was like, I forget what what account it was. It was like a mainstream account. It was like 90 minutes or something like that. They tweeted out like Liverpool saved by VAR. It's like, no, dog. Like, that was the right call by VAR is what it should be. Like, believe me, we know how it feels to get fucked by VAR. Okay, that's not a case of getting fucked by VAR. It is annoying that they had to do the whole lines thing again and again. Once again in the Liverpool game, they looked at VAR and offsides differently. They did a line from the arm, they did a line from the other guy's foot, and like all this stuff. It's just, and sometimes they do no lines, and it's just like, I don't get it. There's no consistency. But what did you guys think of the Firmino handball that brought back Salah's goal? Because with the rule change, our good friend Mari Lewis, she tweeted out the actual new rules, and it literally states right there that should have stand. That goal should have stood. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I didn't see it. But I was saying to Sophie offline that I think it wasn't a handball. I think that should have been given. Dyer handballed the ball first, and it was foul on Firmino. That's not a free kick to me. That should have been a legitimate goal.
I do think the same, and I think I said it to you offline, didn't I? At home, like another game that would have stood, and I think that's the big issue we have. Like, if this rule was implemented every game we saw, that way, then you'd be like, okay, fair enough, like fine. But it's not. It's so inconsistent with it that it's frustrating. And when you watch the replay, you watch one. Dyer is just trying to feel up Bobby. I'm adamant at this point. He's just trying to cop a feel of him. Ooh.
I would.
Like, I'm pretty sure he was just trying to grab a little bit of Bobby there. And then it hits his arm first. So he's the one who's made the handball. He's the one with the foul on Bobby. If Bobby had gone down, that would have been a foul and a free kick. But it wasn't awarded that way. And I just don't think it's consistent enough. Any other game, any other time, that would have been a goal that stood. And then the fact that Twatkinson went to the frigging VAR pitch side, I was like, well, we're not getting it now, are we?
Yep.
Like, I just knew we weren't going to get it because it's him.
I just don't understand it because it literally, just like you said, like when you look at it in slow motion, you can clearly see, okay, that's a foul on Dyer. Okay, it hits Dyer's hand first. Oh, okay, and then it hits Firmino's hand. And then it's, okay, it hit his hand, so it's Spurs ball. It's like, okay, there's two things that happened before Firmino's handball. So if you're going to call it back, it should have been Liverpool's free kick at least from that spot. It doesn't make any sense. And it honestly goes all the way. It reminded me of the goal that we scored against City, where all City fans just choose to ignore that it hit Bernardo Silva's hand first before it hit Trent's hand, and then we go down and score. Like, yeah. It's the same thing in my opinion, but I don't know. It's a little different. But ultimately, what the rule says is that as long as it doesn't hit the player's hand immediately, and then he passes it to the guy who scores, it should be no handball. That was ultimately the rule in the rule books. So
it stood. The game. It should have stood.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they had that what referee they had on the match, June. He said he was like, "Oh, it should be reeled off," even though it hit Dyer's hands. Nonsense.
Absolute nonsense. I will say though, Magic Amal, you're right. And Ndombele was really good. Yeah, he and Højbjerg are the real deal in that midfield. They're both really good players, but just not good enough today.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to touch on, or we should get to our man of the match?
No, we can move on.
Anything really that was missing?
I think we touched on most of the talking points here.
Oh, actually, quickly, just want to say something. Not on the talking points, but can we just really take absolute pleasure in the fact that Harry Kane's, dive under move backfired on him today?
Yep.
Can we
just definitely take pleasure in that? You kidding me?
Yeah. There's even a point when Song dived and he tried to con the referee. Cheated. It's such a cheating team.
They always do.
I just love it because for me it was just karma. It was like, dude, so many times you do this and you could easily injure somebody, and then he goes off injured. Ah, God, it was just such karma. It's funny how the commentators weren't talking about how clever it was now.
Yeah, I don't wish injury on any player, and I hope that it's he's going to be okay because you don't want anyone to be hurt. But equally, the Liverpool fan was going, "Fuck you big chin twat." That's what you get though. Like, how many players could he have snapped the neck when he's doing that dive? He tries to do it on Henzo and he just backfired. Yep. I'll teach you. Don't do it again.
Don't do it, Derek. No.
Yeah, Henzo will just knock it out. Ta-da!
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's do it. Man of the match. I think there's a couple choices that we could go with today.
Mine's is Bobby all over.
Bobby. Okay. Bobby Firmino. I love that option. Sophie, who you got?
Trent. Had to be. Goal and assist. Trent. Brilliant play. Yeah, I can't fault him. Massive step up in performance from him today.
Shit. Those are just to be different. I'm gonna go Mane. Like, I know he missed a couple chances, but he was dangerous the entire day. He opened up lanes, and it was a much needed good performance out of him. I think he and Trent both needed a good performance. We talked about it in the lead up, and we both got it. We got it from both of them. So hopefully now the lads have a little confidence going into West Ham. Beat West Ham, solidify ourselves as a top 4 team, and then just focus on that title, because just to kind of close it out, I'm starting to think that this title charge isn't over yet. I mean, it's a weird season. City had bad form at the beginning of the year. They're finding some good form now, but it's a weird season. All it takes is one injury. All it takes is the ball to bounce one way. I think we're still in this. We're only 7 points out, and we still play City again. So it's it's gonna be a hard battle, especially with no center backs. But I don't think it's over yet. I think we still got a chance.
We were never
3 points off. So go ahead, Sophie.
We were never out of the title race. Like, just look at it. Like, take your emotions out of the game. We were 6 points from top. And, everyone keeps going, oh, this time last year, Liverpool were like 21 points clear. Like, the league was wrapped up pretty much come now. But last year, during this time, we didn't have COVID. We had fans in the stadium. The league was running as normal. A lot has changed in the past, 9-10 months since then. And I just think the league was never over. You look at City; they were in the bottom part of the table. They've gone on a 16-game winning streak. I think it was 16 last time, something like that. And they're now top of the table. Manchester United, like they were doing really well. And yesterday they got absolutely battered by a team that has won 2 games the entire season.
They've now won 2 games. Yep.
It just goes to show that the season is so unpredictable. I mean, for the first part of the season, Everton were up there. You can't. I just don't think this year, especially, you can't write the league off. So much is happening. So many injuries. So many illnesses. I think we're just going to have to just ride out until the end of the year, to be honest, and see what happens come May. Yeah.
Well, we're 3 points off United now. Obviously, City still have the game in hand, but I think for us, it's the fact that City's hard games aren't until like more or less towards the end of the season. So they've got easy games coming up right now. So I think they've got Sheffield United next and Burnley before they play us. So they've got easy games. They're going to pick up points. For us, what's going to decide the league for us is our next 5 games. Because they're brutal for us. Because we've got West Ham, it's going to be a tough game. Brighton, City. We also have Everton away. Everton at home. And you've got Leicester as well away. That's going to be a tough game. And also Leipzig in between that. That's also so. Our run, if we can get through that, 1 game at a time. But we have to beat West Ham because there's no point in beating Spurs tonight and then not beating West Ham this weekend. And that's going to be a tough game against West Ham. We have no centre backs because Antonio is really good in the air, and West Ham are in good form actually right now. And then if we can beat West Ham and beat Man City, beat United, then we're back. It's that Man City game. We can beat Man City and we're back. They'll start feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I'd rather Man City win the league this year. If we don't win it, I'd rather Man City win the league than fucking United.
Oh, yeah. No question.
Yeah.
If they win the league, you're never going to hear the end of it, are you? You're just never going to hear. 1 year, you had another 30 years now. I'd rather have City win it because it means nothing to me if they win it. Not bothered, it's oil money.
I agree. I mean, I completely agree because when you look at City, it's like, okay, at least they have a good squad, decent man, good manager, they'd be a worthy champion in my opinion, just looking at their squad. But then when you look at United and how they've played this year and just their squad and their joke of a coach, and that's the exact thing. It's like, I just don't get I don't get champion vibes from looking at that Man United team. I mean, it's a joke. Like their back line still sucks. Their manager is laughable. Martial's is the biggest fraud I've ever seen in my life. And it's just like if you take away Penandez's penalties, it's like where would they be? And it's just so.
Could we see a repeat of 2 years ago when City win the Premiership, we win the Champions League?
Wait, we win Champions League and they win Premier League?
Yeah,
I'd be fine with that. Fuck that. Yeah, sign me up. That'd be great. I'll take second place. I'll take second place.
I think I would as well because the Premier League won it before. They've won the Prem many a times now. If they win it, like you said before, Steve, it'd be a worthy challenger. You'd be like, okay, City have won it. They've won the league before, but it's been our little, it's been our, our curtails, our glory that you've never won the fucking Champions League. You get kicked out of the semis every year. I
would take that.
I would love that.
The little cherry that like the little carrot we dangle above them.
To go to 7 and just rub it in their face to say, look, we won the Champions League again. I'd take it.
That'd be great. It's something fun to keep an eye on. It's gonna be a fun rest of the season, but that pretty much wraps up this episode. Sophie, thanks for coming on again. One of our favorite recurring guests. You and James Pierce, recurring guests. That's a pretty.
Excuse me. No. I'm the original. Piss off.
No, you're the OG, and you're the
I'm
most.
the original.
And you're a third or fourth time on now.
Fourth, I think.
There's definitely nobody.
When you've got no guests, you call me.
I was gonna say there's nobody there. There's no one at that four mark. So, now we gotta hit 5. Well, actually, we really got to hit 6 for Champions League. We have 6 Champions League. Have you on 6 times this year? So
if we win the Champions League, I'm coming on that podcast.
Oh yeah.
I might be drunk, but I'll be on that podcast.
Oh my God! So last year when we won, you should have seen my Snapchat story. I was hammered, standing on the bar, throwing money everywhere, throwing drinks everywhere, and really hungover for work the next day. It was pretty rough.
Can't relate. We were in lockdown.
Like you,
Jada, we appreciate the love.
Jada, you're the man. We
Cute.
appreciate it. We love all you guys. Thank you. The chat's always awesome. You guys are great. Tell your friends. We like that pop in all the time so we can get you guys involved. But another quick turnaround. We're going to be back tomorrow. It's going to be the second edition of our new show, Friday's Final Word. We're just going to talk about all the latest news around Liverpool and the team. There's going to be a lot to talk about with Matip's injury. Tune in for that. 10 o'clock UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern in the States. But otherwise, up the Reds, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
Up the Reds.